Steely Dan.
What a smoker of a song, man.
Smoker of a song.
Smoking song. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. I am one of two of your hosts today. Two.
Uno, dos.
Uno, dos. My name is Chris Baglio, and joined by me is the captain of our ship.
Oh, stop it.
The true captain of our ship, the one who holds it all together, Miss Amanda Sharp.
Anyone who is an avid listener of our show knows that is not true, Chris Baglio. You fear I'm just the passenger seat driver.
I don't know. You're the gold of the show as far as I'm concerned. So, right off the top of the show here, we do want to address that where Amanda is located in the United States of America, which is Michigan. At the time of this recording, there's been a lot of crazy winter storms coming across the country. And in Amanda's part of the world, the power has been out for quite some time. And so she is making do with what she has to be able to get this show done. So that's why you'll notice some quality differences with her audio and probably some possible internet interruptions. But we said, you know what? To heck with it. We're going to do the show and we're going to forge through because, hey, the show must go on. So
the show must go on indeed.
Thanks for being a trooper.
Thanks for tolerating me. And you guys, sorry for the audio. Really, I feel bad. We like to offer a quality product, but today we're just here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's not much we can do to control Mother Nature when this happens. So, you know, it is what it is. But hey, we're here. We're doing a show. We're here live. If you're joining us live, we're here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So please feel free to throw us some comments, play along as we do every single Monday for the live version of the show. And thank you all who are checking out the replay of this, wherever you get podcasts, or once again, watching the replay over on YouTube or Facebook and Twitch. So welcome to the Song Swap Showdown. This is the show, maybe the only show, but the show where Amanda and I swap songs with each other every single week. We swap 3 songs with each other. In fact, not just one, but 3 songs from 3 different artists, and we rate those songs on an incredibly complicated scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a dumpster fire. I don't want to hear the song. If I could delete it off Spotify, I just might. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be fair to everybody else. Maybe they like the song, but I don't want to hear it, so I'm probably going to block it so it doesn't even show up. All the way to number 5, which would be heavenly music to our ears, making the eternal playlist that we'll never, ever, we'll never get tired of when that song comes on. There's no skipping when that song comes on.
Which, spoiler alert, today's song choices are on a playlist.
They are. They are 100% on a playlist. So,
not and just the Chris and Amanda Song Swap Showdown playlist either.
That's right. That is correct. So check it in right now. We got Mark Ronick checking in on the live feed. Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much. And I saw Dave Mattingly check in before we even went live. Dave was already in the chat going, good morning, Showdown All-Stars. I like it. I think John Pica came in last week and was with the term swappers. Yeah. Hello, swappers. I'm like, oh, I like that. Our swapping community, swappers.
I know. It's super fun.
It is super fun. Yeah, so today, last week, if you listened to our show last week, we kind of picked one artist and we did 3 songs, which was something new. We did, but normally it's 3 songs and 3 artists. And we've been doing themes because everybody seems to really like the themes. We enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for us. Yeah. So Amanda had a great idea considering, the weather we've been dealing with and the fact that, it's cold and you've got some snow. I know we've got some storm heading our way in New Jersey. You came up with a wonderful idea for this week's show to invoke warm weather. Amanda, what is this week's theme?
Well, okay. So first, this is what happens. there's these trends on TikToks that I love following. And so I send Chris the message and I quote unquote, this is how it goes. Hey, Chris, you know, there's that genre. It has like yacht in it. Is it yacht rock? Like, what is that thing? Because I really like those songs. Can we do an episode on that? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. I knew right away. I was like, yep, yacht rock. Yacht rock.
And he was like, yacht rock? Sure. And I was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm all on board with that because, man, do I love me some great yacht rock. I was back and forth. I was shooting you screenshots of like, because I do in my car. I listen to Sirius. I have the yacht rock channel on preset because it's just, you know what? I got to tell you, sometimes there's nothing more satisfying than just cruising around, listening to the cool, breezy sounds of yacht rock.
I had no idea it was a genre, like up until the show, not this show, but our show. Right. And it's so good. And so I couldn't quite remember the name of it, but you figured it out, as you do, because you speak Amanda language.
I do speak Amanda language. I speak Amanda.
You do speak Amanda. And that's how we landed on today's yacht rock theme that we're super excited about.
Yeah, very excited about this one. And if you all like it, we'll see if there'll be a part 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, no, we'll see. But yeah, you know, we are very excited about today's show. So if you don't know, you know, what yacht rock is, maybe, I mean, listen, some people don't know what yacht rock is or what it refers to. So, to set the stage, let me give maybe an overall definition, an explanation as to what exactly yacht rock is. And so this is taken from, actually, I love this. I couldn't believe I found this. And I was like, this is amazing. I think I want to just take this class or something. So it's an article, but it's on masterclass.com. There's an article on yacht rock.
Nice.
So this is coming from the masterclass.com. So under their article, a brief history of yacht rock. So let me just set the stage here.
Let's do it.
So yacht rock music was most prevalent in the 1970s and 1980s, far before the term yacht rock originated. Artists like Loggins and Messina, Hall & Oates, Steely Dan, Toto, and more dominated the airwaves with glossy soft rock that stood in contrast to disco, punk, hip-hop, and heavy metal. Hits include Escape, the Piña Colada Song by Rupert Holmes, I Can't Go For That, No Can Do by Hall & Oates, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl by Looking Glass, Baby Come Back by Player, Africa by Toto, Boys of Summer by Don Henley. Okay. Article goes on to say the yacht rock name comes from, and I sent this to you because I was like, I got it. You have to watch. Comes from the comedy web series Yacht Rock that the popular LA-based website channel 101 ran in 2005. Creators J.D. Reisner and Hunter Stair and Lane Farham wrote a fictional take on the life of real yacht rock stars like Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, the Doobie Brothers, Hall & Oates, and Kenny Loggins, imagining them as a group of friends and rivals lounging and recording in Los Angeles Marina del Rey. While the events in the yacht rock series are fictionalized, the show represents the smooth music that dominated the soft rock scene during the time period. The show enjoyed cult hit status and extended word-of-mouth help to revive interest in many of the artists that it covered. So that was coming from the masterclass.com article written in 2021. So definitely I'll have a link to that in our show notes. But I did post the Yacht Rock series, the 12-part mockumentary. It is in our Facebook group. You can join right now. Check it out. It is hilarious. I remember watching that when I came out so much. I thought it was genius the way they did it. It was just really, really funny. So I highly recommend. So go over to our Facebook group, the Show Swap Showdown backstage group. You can hit that link in the show notes, and you'll see it in there. And we also have some polls and some other fun things going on too. But yeah, check it out. So does that help reframe up yacht rock?
You nailed it. It's much better than my voice message sheet. You know that thing, the yacht rocker, schmocker.
Yacht rocker. So yeah. So, you know, I would say, so for today's list, like, listen, we really, you know, you and I admittedly are fans of the genre now that you know what it's called, but I know all summer long, I listen to yacht rock playlists, and, you know, like I said, I self-admittedly, I listen to the Yacht Rock channel on Sirius XM. So this wasn't hard for me. What wasn't hard for me to find songs. What was hard was to pare the songs down, because my actual yacht rock playlist is enormous. And I was trying to find things that would just really, I think, more or less just be fun to talk about, more than anything. And I know we're gonna rate the songs too, so we can rate the strength of the Yacht Rock playlist that we shared with each other. But I got a feeling everything's gonna get very, spoiler alert, they're probably gonna get some high marks. You know, I don't think there's gonna be any ones or twos today.
No.
I don't think so.
That's a spoiler alert, but I think no one should be surprised. And when you said episode 5, 6, 7, 8, to your point, I mean, we could easily have done 10 episodes on our favorite Yacht Rock songs.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So, hey, let us know. We want to hear from you. Let us know. At the end of the, like, did you like this episode? Do you want to hear more Yacht Rock stuff? Also, let us know who or what are some of your favorite Yacht Rock artists or songs. Let us know in the comments, and we will bring them up here as we go along. So, Amanda Sharp,
yes,
let's kick this yacht party off.
Woo!
Let's get ready to hit
the
open seas and let the breeze run through our hair. Well, I don't really have hair, but you know, I can see you got yacht hair. Like you can be like,
and you know what? This is the thing.
And our little boating outfits, like you got
yeah. And the thing is, you know, you want to look like the wind's just blowing through your hair, but when you're on a boat, it's like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
It's never where it's supposed to be. It's never looking good.
It's never glamorous.
In your mouth, like, and everybody looks the same, but how they portray it on TV and what it actually is in reality is one thing. But you get that music going and you're feeling it, no matter if you're eating hay or not.
That's right. That is right. You're feeling it. Especially when it's just like you're just anchored and you're just chilling. That's when it's like
the warm summer breeze.
Yeah. So everybody right now, if you're listening to this in whatever part of the world or country you are, and it might be cold, you know, try to imagine some of the soft, gentle summer breezes, cold drink in your hand, chilling to some Yacht Rock. That's our gift to you today.
Yes, let's prepare ourselves for warmer days.
That's right. All right. So with that, let's jump into it. Amanda Sharp, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You know, I'm going to let you go first.
I
usually hog the first spot, so you get to go.
So I will be honest with you. Your first pick to me, it's actually not on my Yacht Rock playlist. And it's not that I don't consider a Yacht Rock song. I just didn't even think about it. And
sure.
And the more I thought about it too, like this song in particular, I actually even forgot that this song was even on this record. Because I haven't listened to the full record in a while, and you don't think about this song. So the song that you shared with me is "The Girl Is Mine" with Paul McCartney and by Michael Jackson. And I mean, you even have like the Yacht Rock like stuff in there.
Yeah.
Every night she walks right in my dreams since I met her from the start.
Man, what a combo, right?
Really. I have actually. I forgot about this song. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really did. I mean, this is smooth. Yeah. So
Mark Rock's coming in questioning my choice.
He is questioning, is that Yacht Rock?
And this is the thing.
It's in the pocket.
It's
of years.
It is on the Spotify playlist of Yacht Rock.
I will concur with that, Mark. It did make the actual official curated Spotify playlist of Yacht Rock because I did check.
I did too, because sometimes I wiggle things into a genre that's limiting, like if it's really belonging there. But this one I did go, is this Yacht Rock? And based on that, I do believe it is.
So Mark is saying, I don't believe it's Yacht Rock. So let his opinion be stated and duly noted, sir.
Yes. And we would ask that you also put those controversial comments over on our YouTube channel when this is up and running, because we love controversial comments over there. If you want a good show, head on over there. I'm that girl.
Yeah, if you really want a good show, check out the YouTube comments on some of our other videos. It's always a good time.
Please, yeah.
So this song, talking about the song, I like I said, I actually forgot that this was on Thriller. I really did. I completely forgot. And it was actually when I read about this. So I'm gonna share. So I got a lot of notes on all our songs today from songfacts.com.
Yeah.
Thank God for songfacts.com. Otherwise we wouldn't have a show. Um, but this is so from this is from Song Facts. So this duet with Paul McCartney, one of three he and Michael Jackson recorded together. As Jackson told it in his autobiography Moonwalk, when he first met McCartney in the 70s, Paul told him that he wrote a song for him called Girlfriend. McCartney used that song on his 1978 album London Town, and Jackson included it on his 1979 Off the Wall album. The pair connected again when Jackson called McCartney on Christmas Day 1980 asking, "Do you want to make some hits?" Jackson flew to London in the fall of 1981, where they wrote Say, 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 and began recording the song with producer George Martin. In December, with Jackson and Quincy Jones ready to start work on Thriller, they visited McCartney at his ranch in Tucson, Arizona, and started working on a song Jackson wrote called The Girl Is Mine. An experience, Jones says, was a lot of fun. The song seemed tailor-made for the pair. They recorded the song together in 1982 at Westlake Studios in L.A., which was the home base for all the Thriller sessions. Around the time they finished work on Say, 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 shot a video for that song, then recorded another duet called The Man, and The Girl Is Mine ended up on Jackson's Thriller album, released in 1982, and Say, 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 and The Man went on Paul McCartney's album, Pipes of Peace, released in October of 1983. So this was actually, this blew me away, because I would swear I would have lost money on this bet, that I thought that Billie Jean was the first single released off of Thriller.
Yes, and this actually was.
This was the first single released off Thriller. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have lost that bet.
And I saw that, and I was I don't know if it was just because it made sense because of Paul McCartney being on it. Like, it might have made sense to do that, but at the same time, you go, of all of the songs on that record, you wouldn't have thought that this would have been the first thing.
No, and actually it goes on to say, although it was one of the weakest songs that was released first, because it was guaranteed airplay thanks to McCartney's contribution. Sure. And if they didn't release it first, radio stations would play it anyway and wear it out. Also, it was the first song completed for the album, which they were still working on. So they were still actually working on the record, and they wanted to release the song. So at the time, many big albums contained the song with prominent guest vocals to attract attention. Released ahead of the album, the song gave no indication that Thriller would become the best-selling record of all time. So,
such a good song.
And the song itself peaked at number 2 on the U.S. charts and number 8 in the UK.
A good spot for it to nestle in at.
Yeah, and I see Ashley, and I'm going to get to Mark's comment in a second because it is funny. But Ashley's saying, yeah, interesting enough, MJ ended up buying the Beatles catalog, and there's actually a bit in here from that, and it's basically what they say is, according to songfacts.com, is Jackson and McCartney remained good friends until 1985, when Jackson bought the publishing rights to most of the Beatles songs, causing an intractable rift in their relationship. McCartney taught Jackson about publishing rights when they got together in 81, and Jackson used this wisdom, along with his Thriller profits, to buy songs McCartney coveted. Jackson said it was just business, but McCartney saw it as a betrayal.
And listen, I can see it both ways.
I see it both ways as well.
But I instantly think, can you imagine having that much money to buy the Beatles catalog? That's where my mind goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's smart. I mean, so basically Thriller, best-selling record of all time, takes those profits and goes, you know what? I'm going to invest my money into something that's, also timeless.
Good. Yeah.
Which is Beatles songs.
I mean, good business move.
Yeah.
So very interesting indeed.
So Mark Ronick in the chat just shared something really good. I want to read this out loud, because especially for our folks who are listening and not watching. So Mark, who has become, in my eyes, a Chat GPT expert, by the way, and you want to check out his framework for podcast notes. It's insane. But so Mark put it in a Chat GPT. So he said, according to Chat GPT, The Girl Is Mine is a song by Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, released in 1982. While it shares some characteristics with yacht rock, it is not typically considered a yacht rock song. Yacht rock is typically associated with a specific group of artists who were active in the late 70s and early 80s and had a distinct sound that emphasized smooth melodies and harmonies over driving rhythms.
I think it falls into that category.
I feel like it's on the cusp. Let's give it a little bit more. Let's give it a little bit more of a sample again. And you guys, be the judge. You let us know.
I mean, smooth.
Let us know. This is going to be controversial. this is going on
Every
IG.
night she walks right in my dreams since I met her from the start. I'm so proud I am the only one who is special in her heart. The girl is mine.
I mean,
The doggone girl is mine.
now I'm gonna say,
I know she's mine.
It's
I mean,
smooth.
it's smooth. It fits into the timeline.
The doggone girl is
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know how much of a difference there is between this song and Christopher Cross's "Sailing," which also has. Now, see, I don't want to get too far off topic here, but I
it's
just
in the same genre.
as a
Sailing's in there.
comparison, I just as a comparison, because I don't want to go too far off. Let's just give a little bit of just comparison.
Sailing takes me away to where I'm away.
All right, so I don't know. When I put that up against "Girl Is Mine," I feel like there's a lot of parallels there, and that's the ultimate yacht rock song right there.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying Mark's wrong. I'm just saying it is an interesting opinion, and it is one up for debate. So we want to hear from our audience, our community. Let us know. I love this debate. I want to keep it going. Is Michael Jackson's "The Girl Is Mine" Paul McCartney actually duet with Paul McCartney? Is it a yacht rock song? Does it fit in to the category of yacht rock? Spotify says yes.
Spotify says yes.
Now, you know,
It is on the
ChatGPT
official.
is on the fence about it, apparently.
It is, but I will like to, indicate that there's words that they're using that it says is typically not considered, like typically, but it does mean that it could be considered. So I think there's some wordage there that is contradictive.
It's not definitive.
It's not definitive, but we love ourselves some ChatGPT. So Mark, that's fun.
Yes, that is very fun. So thank you for doing that. So all right. So my rating on this song, I forgot actually how much fun this song is. I especially love the banter at the end when him and with MJ and Paul McCartney just kind of going back and forth. I forgot about I completely forgot that existed in this song too, which I was like, oh wait, remember that. So I like this song. I like it. I think I would put it in the yacht rock category. I do feel like it has the feels of yacht rock. Obviously, the record as a whole, like Thriller's not a yacht rock record. So I don't want anybody to misconstrue that we're saying Thriller's a yacht rock record. We're talking about in a particular song. I feel like it could fit into the genre. So with that, and the fact that I do like the song, and I was like, they do it again. I'm giving it 4 records. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know people are like, it's not the strongest, but I'm doing it from a yacht rock perspective. I think it's a 4-record song. And I actually like reinvigorated my oh, wow, I really like this song. Yeah.
I'll take the 4 records.
Yeah. So Ashley coming in with the music perspective, which I like on the song. Lots more wide open harmony and Sailing versus "The Girl Is Mine." I think a major component of yacht rock is the multi-part harmonies as a feature. I agree with you, Ashley. And I think the next song that we're going to talk about, 100%.
And
it's essential.
Ashley, unlike ChatGPT, is a musician.
Yeah, she is.
So I think I can absolutely take that and digest it a little bit more than the ChatGPT thought.
By the way, we did feature Ashley was an indie feature a few months back, so make sure you definitely check that out on our YouTube channel and episode of the show. So, all right, boy, so much controversy about that song right now. That was great.
I know, and I'm glad we went number 1 with that because hopefully everyone had a fun time with it. All right, so your first song to me was "Peg" by Steely Dan.
Woo! What a smoker of a song, man.
Smoker of a song.
Smoking song.
There's and that's a trumpet, right? That's a trumpet?
No.
What is that?
That's a keyboard. I mean, there's some horns. There's some horns in. Oh, I'm going to tell you right now, if there's a band I regret never having seen live, it is 100% Steely Dan. Like, I regret never having seen them live. I really dropped the ball on that. I would have loved to have seen them live. I've been on a little bit of a Steely Dan kick over the last like month and a half, I'd say. I go through it with them. I'd like just dive into all their stuff. And
so
well, we're just the rest of the show is just gonna be us just grooving to this.
See, I really like this tune, and the thing is, I didn't ever know any of the words. Never. I listened to this song probably every day when I was, y'all know my hardware days. There was obviously a yacht rock channel.
It's actually amazing when you listen to some of the words to these yacht rock songs and you realize they really have nothing to do with like being on a yacht, especially this song, which
just
I will give you the history of this. But yeah.
And so I was like, wow, these lyrics are definitely different than what I had imagined in my brain.
Yeah. It's the you know what, you really carried away with the musicianship, the melody. I mean, it's amazing.
You're just doing your thing.
And Steely Dan, it's just they own that sound, but like you don't think about like when you really start to listen to the lyrics to their songs, like what's going on and the stories they're telling, because each Steely Dan song kind of is like plays out like a short film, like they really do. But they got lumped in to the yacht rock genre, which, you know, obviously, once again, there was no such thing as yacht rock, like in particular back in the day. It was something that kind of came about like later on.
Move listening.
But yeah, man, like I said, I absolutely regret never having seen them live. And, you know, now it's like, you know, now one of them's passed away, and it's just, you know, it's a bummer. I should have went back in the day because I really have always liked them. I grew up with Steely Dan on in my house. My father was a big Steely Dan fan. I remember, you know, Asia was like a record that was always on, like always on. And, you know, and Katie Lied, all those, I mean, just great. Pretzel Logic, just awesome, phenomenal record. I would say I love the fact that I grew up in a household where Steely Dan was on in the house. So I was good. It was a good foundation.
It's a good foundation. I love it. So I think it definitely has its place. I don't think there's any question to it being a yacht rock classic.
I mean, I think pretty much most Steely Dan songs usually end up on yacht rock playlists, especially like, you know, Ricky Don't Lose a Number, you know, those like, you know, I mean, that's a huge one. I mean, God, there's so many good songs.
It's fabulous. So so I just find it funny because a lot of times I make up lyrics in my head, as we all know. So I'll sing the wrong lyrics and I feel good about it. This is one of those songs that I truly didn't even try to imagine what the lyrics were. I just would like hum it.
Yeah.
And like jazz to it out, like shoulder it out.
Shoulder it out.
Shoulder it out. Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely shoulder ability there.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's really good. Do you have any amazing stories behind this one? I do
have some good stories behind this one. And by the way, and this is also why it also is another great yacht rock song, because it not only is just Steely Dan, but it also has another yacht rock legend of yacht rock sound on it as well, doing background vocals, which is Michael McDonald. And it was a really cool thing. I was actually just watching over the weekend, like when I was behind like the making of the record, and it was on Aja, and I watched it. And they talk about in this song in particular, Michael McDonald actually, if you hear it, he actually forms a chord with his voice. Like that's how, because Steely Dan were notorious for being like musical studio perfectionists. Like they would redo takes and takes and takes until they could find the right sound, and they would have multiple guitar players come in and play like they were absolute perfectionists. And they actually had Michael McDonald, and you could hear it when, you know, when he does, like it's actually like he's forming a chord with his voice. Like it's pretty sick. But so to your point about the song, like what is it about, right? When you start listening to the lyrics. So in this song, Peg is an aspiring actress who is breaking into the business. It's told from the perspective of her ex-boyfriend, whom she ditched because he couldn't advance her career. Speaking with the Wall Street Journal, Donald Fagen explained, imagine that Peg takes place at a seedy photo shoot in LA in the 1950s. All the lyrics are from the perspective of the jilted boyfriend who is still hanging around. The scene is seedy because show business is seedy. Even what most people think are the heights of show business still has the seediness of a vaudeville dressing room. The song begins with the guy watching her pose for racy photos with the line, so you won't So won't you smile for the camera? In the second verse, he puts out an old letter she wrote to him and does a little reminiscing. In the chorus, he warns her that karmic payback awaits. Peg, it will come back to you. In a 1950 classic movie, All About Eve, inspired the lyric. In the film, Betty Davis plays a famous actress whose secretary, Eve Harrington, uses her position to become an actress herself. Donald Fagen and Walter Becker wrote the music first, starting with a blues riff. Donald Fagen came up on the piano, and they chose the name Peg because it fit. The name doesn't have any particular significance at all. And it goes on and on about the musicians. I'm gonna actually want to post this in the in our group because it's really good facts in here. One last thing here is that and this is actually just happening right now. Finally, the De La Soul catalog is finally coming on because De La Soul, especially the early stuff, much like how the Beastie Boys, they did a lot of samples, and a lot of those samples were unlicensed at the time, and they had to work out new licensing deals. So for a long time, De La Soul's back catalog hasn't been available on streaming, and in particular, De La Soul sampled the refrain "I Love You Better," and they used it for their song "I Know" off of their debut record, which is a great sample to use. But so that just goes to show Steely Dan being like sampled and used even in hip hop. So anyway, love this song, and this song charted number 11. And Aja is Steely Dan's best selling record of all time. It was number 1 record.
It's really great. It's a great song. I have 5 record yacht rock songs, and this is like a 4 record for me.
Okay. All right.
So it's not quite 5, but it's really great. Like it's nowhere near a 3. So I'll even give it like a 4.5.
4.5 is acceptable.
4.5.
4.5 is acceptable. I like it.
So Peg,
I like it.
4.5.
4.5. I love it. All right. All right, well, moving right along here, before we dive into any more songs, do you want to just take a quick break and just talk about our great sponsors over at campsite.bio who have just been wonderful to work with, and we love them. And on top of that, we absolutely love their product. So if you are looking for the ultimate link in bio, right, something that combines things that you need as far as a marketer, a creator, just an individual, a small business owner, all that, you can get it all by using campsite.bio. So instead of having like, here's a website and here's my link to my YouTube channel, or here's a link to my store, and you just keep swapping those out on Instagram. Guess what? Just go, hey, use my link in the bio and use campsite.bio to put it all in one place. Campsite.bio features all kinds of in-depth tracking and analytics, so that way you can track where all their traffic is coming from and see who clicked and what they clicked on and all that. But even better, the thing that I love, Amanda knows I love this, is all the customization and integration. So, I have this for 5 different brands, my stuff that I have on my own, but other brands I work with. And I love being able to integrate like our Spotify playlist in there and our YouTube channel. Like you can literally like listen and watch our show right there from campsite.bio. There's also too, which I love that they added this now, which is a tip jar. So if you're a creator, and listen, we all have our buy me a coffee, which is on there too, but it's nice that you can also just have a tip jar there. And if people like what you do and they want to show their appreciation, they can just tip you right then and there. So it is a great piece of software that I just, it's the organization, the ease, the skill of it. And, quite frankly, it's like, we're always looking to try to convert our followers into doing something, right? What's the next step? What do we want them to do? Well, this is a great way to convert followers into customers for you, your business, your creator, grow your community, all those great things. That's why we love campsite.bio. That's why I love it. Amanda, why do you love it?
I just love it because it's so easy to use. Let's be honest. It took less than 5 minutes to set up. Time is money, friends. It's a great piece of real estate to put where you only have one link available. So go check it out. Super easy. Promise you will not regret it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Seriously, don't even take our word for it. Use it yourself.
Yeah, just try
download it for free. You can absolutely download it for free. Try it out. It is awesome. You can use the link in our bio. We have a special landing page where you can go, you can download it. And then if you like it and you dig it, use the coupon code and you're going to get $10 off your pro plan, which is definitely the next level up to unlock like all the great features that campsite.bio has. So the free version has great features, but if you want to get really into it and really dig in and you want to really access what campsite.bio is capable of doing, you want to get that pro plan, use the coupon code, get the access, do the whole thing. We love them. We're so happy that they're a sponsor. Check them out. Download for free. Join over 200,000 creators, agencies of brands already on campsite.bio. Stay in control of your branding and create a bio link that matches you. Campsite.bio.
Boom.
All right. Thank you all for sponsoring.
Yes.
We appreciate you. All right. Back into our show. Your
Yeah,
number 2 song to me.
Yes.
Number 2 song to me. This was, once again, there's nothing shocking about any of the songs that you send me. I just, the sequencing and so I'll tell you this. There's certain songs that like I expect to show up on your list, and there's other songs I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You put this on the list. But then I don't know. It's just like, even though we have similar tastes, because by the way, I like the song. But it's just always interesting when you give me a sequence of songs and like how they play into each other. So I do appreciate the thought that you put into something.
And the musical choices sometimes are just what our moods are, right?
Right.
And we feel a song a certain way when we hear it, this month compared to maybe next month. So yeah, Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Elton John and Kiki D. So Kiki D. So here we go. Now, what a great tune. This is fun.
Right into the hook. Woo!
I totally picture you roller skating to this.
Oh, yes.
Like doing the shuffle on the skates.
On both of them, though, because it's only me.
Yeah. It's just,
my shoulder bopper.
My favorite part of the song is
yes.
Favorite part.
Yes. Just the playfulness of it is just so fun.
Yeah. Here it comes. Yeah. Great song.
Oh, so good.
Great song. And so I do have a question now.
Okay. Is this question that this belongs on Yacht Rock too?
That's my question, because I will tell you, and I like the song. The song. So this isn't about the quality of the song. It's a great pop song. It's an earworm. Like, is it a Yacht Rock song?
Listen, I'm going to default right back again to the official Spotify Yacht Rock station playlist.
Okay, because I don't remember seeing this on there.
It's on there.
All right.
It's on there. And I know I'm getting off the hook when I'm pushing these limits here because it's on that. But
you're on the fringe.
And it's not just like, all right, this is the difference. It's not the Amanda Sharp Yacht Rock playlist that it's on. It's on like the Spotify Yacht Rock playlist, like the official one. So that's where I feel like I can confidently say enough people believe it is Yacht Rock for it to have made my list this week.
So I am on the official Spotify Yacht Rock.
You're fact checking right now.
I am but the thing is, I do know that they constantly update these. So
I swear, who knew this show was going to become so controversial?
Am I looking at the right one?
Let me
wait,
see.
Hold on. It's the one. It's got. Well, I was gonna say it has a picture of a yacht on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Let's see where this goes. Gosh, and you're just when I'm scrolling.
You know what I'm thinking though, too. You know what I'm thinking though, as I'm wondering. So I don't see it on mine. Now here's the thing. Now I know with these Spotify playlists too. Sometimes they are driven by the algorithm of like what you're kind of into.
Mm-hmm.
So it may put songs in that it thinks that you'll like.
It's true. That is true.
Based on your listening. So I don't know how human curated these are. So in which case it may be on your version of the playlist and not on mine.
That is really true.
There is that. So I can't discount then the algorithm trying to say we think this sounds like Yacht Rock and therefore it should be on Amanda's Yacht Rock Spotify playlist.
We know Spotify does a really good job of understanding the Amanda algorithm.
It does. They actually have a chart at Spotify that's just a separate room, and it says the Amanda algorithm. It's literally just that. Like that's a team of people in Spotify that are like, we've never seen anything like this, so we have to patent this algorithm.
And so if your algorithm has gotten better friends, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. You can all thank him. You can all thank Amanda for that one.
So, okay, maybe it's a
All
little
right.
questionable whether it's on the real Yacht Rock
I,
or Yacht Rock station channel
yeah,
genre.
I mean, I'd love to hear from the audience. Let us know. What you guys think. Is it a yacht rock song? Does it belong on the yacht rock playlist of yacht rock? Is it belong in the pantheon of yacht rock songs? So that aside, right? Strength of the song, it's a great song. I don't know any. I mean, listen, I know there are some people that just aren't like into Elton John and all that, but it's a really fun song, and I dig it. I mean, and this is like one of those songs where like so I remember, growing up as a kid, that the one of the big New York radio stations back in the day was WNBC, right? And so they played like all they played was top 20 hits. That was it. Like maybe top 50. And it was always the same songs. And I just always remember being like, you'd hit like that, you'd go into the car to be on. It's like, woohoo,
Yes.
nobody know. It was always like at that part of the song. Yeah. And it
Yes.
was always in WNBC on a New York, like it's just like here's some Elton John and Kiki D. It's like, and so I just always remember it was just always on. Like was on every radio station back then growing up, and definitely dating myself here, but number one song in the United States and the UK.
As it should be.
So according to songfacts.com, Kiki D explained in a book 1,000 UK number one hits. Both Elton and I were big fans of those duets on Motown by the likes of Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, as there hadn't been any around for quite some time, so we thought we'd do one ourselves. Elton recorded his part in Toronto when a tape was sent to London where Kiki D recorded her vocal. Producer Gus Dudgeon recalls, I was with Elton in Canada when he actually sang about 3/4 of the song and gave Kiki about 4 lines. They said, hang on a minute, is there supposed to be a duet for a guest appearance? Elton replied, a duet? Then you've got to give her at least 50% of the song. After Elton recorded his part in Toronto, the tapes were sent to London and Kiki got them. And she remembered Elton had recorded the song abroad, and I also did my vocals on a high-pitched voice, which was quite funny, so I knew which lines to sing. So this is hilarious. I would love to hear that demo of him like how to doing like the scratch track, so she knew where to sing. Originally, Elton and Kiki were going to do a cover version of the Four Tops' "Loving You Is Sweeter Than Ever," but Elton and his songwriting partner Bertie Taupin wrote the song under the pseudonyms Ann Orson and Carte Blanche. This was Elton John's first number one hit in the UK. He had to wait 14 years for his next number one UK hit, which was the song Sacrifice. And in 1983, Elton and Kiki teamed up again with a cover of True Love, this time reaching number 2 in the UK. So, great song. I like the song a lot. So it's like there's nostalgia of it, and it's like, but I do like the song a lot. I gotta give it. Is it higher than Girl Is Mine? I think so. Even as much as I like Sir Paul McCartney and I love the Beatles, I don't know if I can quite. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 5. You know what? Screw it. I'm giving it 5. I like the song. I do listen to the song. I don't turn it off. I don't skip it. I know some people think Elton John, but I especially like older, like 70s Elton John. In early 80s. It's just the stuff gets a little like he just becomes more like not even yacht rock, just adult contemporary, like easy listening stuff. That's not my game. But yeah, I like the song a lot. I think it's very well written. It's a 5 record song as far as the quality of a song goes. And I think this is one like you go to weddings, you go to parties, it still comes on. May not be relevant to a younger generation. But I think our generation and up is like you hear this song and and who can't help but do that? Woo! Like
I know, and I challenge the younger generation that I think they could adapt to this very easily if they heard it a couple times. If they gave it a chance, I could see them being so silly at dances with this.
Once again, it's got to hit on TikTok. If it can hit on TikTok,
agreed,
and you get that 1 10-second, 15-second part. That's it. It's over. Usually the big thing on TikTok is like slowing something down and adding a lot of reverb. That's like one of the big trends. So maybe it's going to take like a slow down a part and add a lot of reverb and then.
Don't go breaking my heart. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, if it becomes famous on TikTok, you're welcome.
You're all
And
welcome.
I have to say, the Elton John, it really wasn't a documentary. It was like this movie of Elton John.
hmm
I don't remember what streaming service it's on, but it is so good. I
Yeah.
think is it just Rocket Man? Maybe that's what
Yeah.
it's called.
Well, Rocket Man's the movie.
The movie then.
It was a
Yes, the
movie.
movie. Yes. So
I
good. So
actually
if you
did
haven't
not
seen
see
it,
that.
it's Chris, you've
Yeah,
got
I
to
gotta
see it.
watch
It's
that.
so excellent. It really yeah. Like 5 records.
Okay.
5 clappers.
5 clappers. 5 slates. 5 film slates.
Okay. All right. Moving on to your number 2 song, which was on my list until it wasn't.
You know, I was actually on the fence about this one. I'm like, oh, it's
Uh-huh.
such a generic song, but I'm like,
It needed a spot on there, right?
it needed a spot in there. And I once again, I also put these because I was like, I wanted to know about these songs, and so it forced me to like, if I put it on here, then I'm gonna dive
Yeah.
into the history. This song's got a lot of backstory to it, by the way. I was
It,
like blown
in
away
the,
by the backstory.
yeah, the story of the song, because I think people sing it just to sing it. They don't understand the story about it. And I think a lot of the yacht rock songs, you do that. You don't really realize. So it's Escape Piña Colada Song by Rupert Holmes. And it's just so like catchy. It's sung. Goodbye, lady. See ya. Who needs you? Who needs you?
So this is a song which I agree with you 100%. This is basically what you would say would be a TikTok song because really people only care about the 10 seconds of the chorus, and then that's kind of it. They just want to sing the song, the line, if you like Piña Colada, that's it, and this, getting caught in the rain, that's it. If you're not into yoga, if you have this is definitely a TikTok song in that sense that people really only care about that one line for
the storyline.
Right, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good though. And so the story is, and I'm sure you have all the notes on the story of this song. And I just appreciate the story behind the song so much.
Yeah. So the story behind the song, and by the way, the person who, first of all, I also feel like this happens a lot, is a lot of people feel like that this is a Jimmy Buffett song. Like people just, by the way, I'm just going to say this. I can't stand Jimmy Buffett. I'm not a Jimmy Buffett fan. I know he's like a yacht rock guy. I'm just not down with Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. I can't. I'm just out.
Talk about, we can't just swing past that when the girl with mine was so controversial.
I mean, listen, it's not, I just over Jimmy Buffett stuff. So, but I feel like this song is oftentimes gets confused for Jimmy Buffett, and it's not. It's not Jimmy Buffett. It is actually by Rupert Holmes. And you may be like,
what a name. Yeah.
Who? So Rupert Holmes has written several Broadway plays, including Say Goodnight, Gracie and The Mystery of Edwin Drood. He's written songs that have been performed by Barbra Streisand, Judy Collins, and Britney Spears. And he actually created a television series called Remember When, WENN, and wrote a novel called Where the Truth Lies. He's worked with his works have won tons of Emmys, Tonys, and Edgar Awards. Despite all that, he is best known for this song. So in an interview, he told Song Facts, I have a feeling that if I saved an entire orphanage from a fire and carried the last child out of my shoulders, as I stood there charred and smoking, they'd say, hey, aren't you the guy who wrote the Piña Colada song? It's tough when you have this one thing that pulls your focus from all these other things that you've done. Yet every songwriter lives to have a song that mostly everybody knows.
Yeah.
So the song began originally called People Need Other People, which Holmes wrote years earlier for his own amusement. For his 5th album, he needed an up-tempo song to balance out the ballads, so he decided to record Escape. In a Songfacts interview, he described how they recorded it, and I'll just go on to say here, he basically was like, I figured I'd just put the song on anyway. I wasn't crazy about the lyric. Then I found that I desperately needed another up-tempo song for the album, and the budget was getting low, and I wasn't sure what to do. That's when we did something that is now pretty commonplace, but was pretty unusual at the time. We did a very primitive version of the sampling. I found there were 16 bars of music on the first take that were very tight. Everybody was in a very nice groove. So we duplicated those 16 bars into another multi-track over and over again and edited them all together. I think there were 60 edits to make up a reel that was 5 minutes long of the 16 bar vamp. So that's why you get that like continue like din, 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 din. So they just kind of they didn't have enough money, so they just looped that over. So I went through a million lyrics in my head. I wrote one song that went, that's the law of the jungle in the school of the street. You get out of the kitchen if you can't take the heat. I thought it sounded too much like a Billy Joel song. So I wrote another one that said, everyone needs a victim. I believe you will find when you're cruel to another, you'll be cruel to be kind. Right as I did that, remember, there was a hit record out there called Cruel to Be Kind. So I couldn't use that. So now it's the last day of scheduled of recording and I have no lyrics. Because the song is just a steady vamp, I realized that I've got to make the lyrics the focal point of the song because the music is so repetitive. So I was at my apartment and it was a copy of the Village Voice. I love this story. I find it so fascinating, right? So I was at my apartment. It was a copy of the Village Voice. Sometimes I look at personal columns to get ideas for songs because people fascinate me. I saw this ad and that a woman had placed an ad which she described herself in such glowing terms that I thought to myself, why on earth, if you're this wonderful, do you need to place an ad in a personal columns? Trying not to be cynical, I thought, let's be fair. Maybe she's just looking for an adventure. Maybe she's as wonderful as she says, and she likes the idea of meeting strangers and seeing what fate has in store for them. She wants something out of the ordinary. Then I thought to myself, what would happen if I answered this ad? And I thought, what, with my stupid luck, I would answer the ad and find out I'd been placed by the woman I'm living with, never realizing that she was actually bored with me. So that sort of took hold of my mind, and people always ask me if it was based on something true. And I know that I would love to say it was based on true, but it wasn't. It was based on a what-if scenario that I conjured up in my mind that evening. So the original lyric was, if you like Humphrey Bogart and getting caught in the rain. That was the original lyric. He said that he used to use a lot of movie references, so he decided to try something else. I thought, what can I substitute? He told Song Facts, well, if this woman wants an escape, she likes to go on vacation to the islands. But when you go on vacation to the islands, you sit on a beach and someone asks you if you like a drink. You never order a Budweiser. You don't have a beer. You're on vacation. You want a drink and a hollowed out pineapple with flags of all nations and a long straw. I thought, let's see. There's a daiquiri, Mai Tai, Piña Colada. I wonder what Piña Colada tastes like. I've never had one. I thought that instead of singing, if you like Humphrey Bogart with emphasis, I could start with a syllable earlier and go, if you like Piña Coladas.
It's so great. And so basically,
I know that was a lot there, but like it just fascinating to me.
It is fascinating. And the song lyrics are basically this thing goes out in the paper essentially, and they end up with each other again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so great.
It's amazing. This song. So here's a little bit more about this song. So the song's Quick Rise. The song vaulted to the charts on WABC AM, which never played anything until it was top 5 everywhere else. Played the record when it was only number 16 on Billboard with a bullet, meaning the song is rising on a chart. It was jumping sometimes 15, 20 points a week. By December of 1979, it was the number 1 record in the country. It was number 1 record in January of 1980. So before it was a hit, there weren't many places you could get a Piña Colada in the United States, but after the song, you could get Piña Coladas anywhere.
Can you, like, the power of music? It is so fascinating to me.
Unbelievable.
I don't even drink Piña Coladas. I don't drink any alcohol, and I am jamming to the song as if I'm a believer and I have one in my hand.
It's really amazing. So the record label actually made him. So the song is called Escape, and they said in this article, which I thought was kind of funny, that they made him change the song. Well, the record label made him put the name of the song, Piña Colada. So basically, it was like, everybody was okay. So here it is. The problem was that everybody was asking for the Piña Colada song. Everybody was calling into radio stations, being like, "But the song's called Escape." So the record, they didn't know. The DJs didn't know what song it was. So it said it hurt sales because people would ask for the song about Piña Coladas and at record stores, and the stores had no idea what anybody was talking about. So the record label changed the title to Escape, the Piña Colada song, and told Rupert it wouldn't sell if they did it. Rupert replied, I guess now it's just the Piña Colada song.
It really is. It really is.
But I mean, it's like a fascinating story to me about a song, right? That just like, and that's the thing today. Like, I think today people will be like the Piña Colada Song. I don't think most people have no idea the song's called Escape.
I'll be honest. I didn't even.
I mean, I'll say for years I didn't. I mean, especially growing up, it was just the Piña Colada Song.
Yeah,
you know, I wasn't until I was older that I was like, you know, and on top of that, I did used to think it was Jimmy Buffett. When I was younger, I was like, you know, it just seemed like it fit in, right?
You can see how the lines would connect there.
Right,
so,
you can see that.
Mr. Rupert, I know that you are disappointed that this is your legacy to some degree, but you're not upset about it. You're disappointed, but you're not angry about it, right? But
it doesn't seem like he's angry about it. I think it's just like hilarious that like I've done all other things, but like everybody knows me for like the stupid Piña Colada Song, which he kind of wrote as like, which is often the story, right? It's always that last second thing or like
and it came together and it was inspired off of a napkin or something, you know,
right.
It's great. Yeah. And that's why I love when we do this show, because we find out so much fascinating stuff. So this is such a hit. I would be, if I could give it more than a 5 record, I would.
Yeah. It is if we're talking about yacht rock, right? So let's let's break it down a little bit. Yacht rock. It's the perfect yacht rock song.
Yeah. I would, like, this would be my intro to a yacht rock channel to set the tone.
Right. If someone said, give me your top 5 yacht rock songs of all time, this is like maybe number 1, maybe number 2. Because I put Sailing maybe number 1.
Sailing, and Summer Breeze makes it like there's some that are just so clearly like defined as that. But this is there. So 5 records all day long. Great choice.
And I got to tell you, I didn't even know all that backstory until this episode, like having done that research. And now I really actually like the song even more, knowing now that like how he put it together, how he recorded it, and how he actually came up with the lyrics and how it was so last minute and the whole personal ads thing. Like I love that creative process actually, and how it actually worked out. And listen, whatever you want to call him a one-hit wonder, he actually had a second hit song with the song Him.
Yeah.
I mean, that went to number 6, so it's not exactly like he was a one-hit wonder. I mean, he had, and he's gone into amazing success. Like, you know, I mean, how many Tonys have you won? Exactly. You know, it's like, but on top of that, he still has a record that like still makes a hit song that makes him a lot of money. So it's, you know, good on him. Hey, we can only all be so lucky to write one hit song in our lives that we could just crush.
and sail on a yacht for the rest of our days.
Sail on a yacht for the rest of our days.
So 5 records. Beautiful.
All right. So your third and final song to me is a song that I've heard 1,000 times. And I would agree that I feel like it belongs in the yacht rock genre for sure. I feel like it's got the feel. It's a little bit more subdued. You know, it's a little bit more chill. So if it was on a yacht rock playlist, I think I'd put it like maybe after 5 or 6 high energy songs, and then like this would come on. You know what I'm saying?
Bring her down a little bit.
Yeah, like let me control the mood a little bit. So the song that we're talking about is On and On by Stephen Bishop. Now, I actually didn't know the guy's name was Stephen Bishop who sang. I actually was one of these, so I feel like what's funny about this song too. What's funny about this song, from my standpoint, is actually it has a little bit of a country twang in it. I feel.
Oh, good point.
You know, like it feels a little country-esque in that way, which is a little unusual for the genre, but I feel like it has the breezy feels. You know, and I love the on and on. You know, it's like that.
Easily get converted to a country song. Easily.
Yeah. And Ashley, yes, definitely yacht rock for sure.
Thank you, Ashley.
I'm agreeing. I'm not disagreeing that. I'm just saying, if it was a sequence and I was making a playlist and we're hanging out, it would be in the middle because it's a good like, hey, let's chill out a little bit before we bring the energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know Stephen Bishop was actually the performer of the song, the writer. And I think for a lot of, I'm just going to make this point, and this is a no cut to the artists. And I think this just, once again, we're talking about TikTok culture and all that, is like, a lot of times it's just these songs like are sort of like nameless in the sense of like, you don't know who, like, okay, like we just talked about the, you know, Escape, right? It's just the Piña Colada Song. I don't know who sang it. Maybe Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. It's just a Piña
People like
Colada
it.
song. Like, it
Yeah.
almost becomes like a
Yeah.
nameless, like, it's just a song, but like who actually did it? I don't know. And
Yeah.
most people are kind of like, I don't even care. It's the song. I want to get to that part. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I feel like for some of these
That's fair.
yacht rock musicians, they kind of get lumped into that, like, they're sort of nameless. They're just the song, you know? It's
Yeah. Like the logins, like the people who are naturally on it, Hall & Oates, all those people, like it's their names are there with their songs.
yeah, absolutely.
These additional people, I agree. The song is more famous than the singer.
100%. And I think that, and actually too, so Stephen Bishop though, I didn't know too much about him, honestly. And I was like, well, let me find out about Stephen Bishop. Like, I don't know too much of actually, and I even realized one of their songs that he had was the #1 hit. So this was his first hit as in his biggest as a performer, right? And he is a songwriter. So he's oftentimes he writes music for other artists, things like that. So, but basically with this song, he said, and song facts, there's a lot of pathos in the song. The various characters are presented: Lonesome Sue and Jimmy. So this is also like a very country, right? Like Lonesome Sue. That's very deal with cheating and heartbreak. The singer finds himself in Jamaica where he lets it all go. So that to me, that's also that's a yacht rock. Like, I'm gonna get on my yacht and let it all go on and on.
Leave it on the sea.
Right. He said he didn't write this from a personal experience. So he said he told Song Facts, I write from titles usually. I was walking down the corner grocery store in Silver Lake, where I was living at the time, and I came up with the idea of On and On. My landlady had a lot of exotic flowers all around the house, and I wanted to write something from somewhere else, like Jamaica. And boom.
It's Amanda logic.
Yeah. And boom, really writes the song. It comes out in 1977, charts number 11. This is such Amanda logic. I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Oh, Landlord Flowers, Jamaica. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then you get, this. It's like, hey,
here we
get
are.
this.
I mean, why would you not get that?
I mean, what like pedal steel?
It's good. It's
so
good.
I like this song. It's it's not a song I dislike. I just once again found it fascinating because I actually never thought about Stephen Bishop and who he actually is. But he actually had another huge hit that he wrote, which was the song. I just had it. I just lost it. Oh, here it is. As a songwriter, he went to #1 with the song Separate Lives. So if anybody knows that song was on the White Knights soundtrack released in 1985, and it was done with Phil Collins.
I love Phil Collins.
And I think there was another artist on it. I'm blanking out. I can't find it at the moment. I lost that note, but it's Phil. Sorry, Marilyn Martin. Sorry, I want to make sure it was a duet with Marilyn Martin and Phil Collins. So I don't know if you remember that song.
I'm sure.
But I do remember that movie. And that was actually a really good movie.
And you know what this song makes me think of? Totally different genre. So hear me out. So, Alanis Morissette's Ironic, like, isn't it ironic, that song? And how there's like there's a story of several different people in it.
Right.
This is kind of the same thing. It's a bunch of bite-sized people stories. And I love a good storytelling.
Yeah, I do too. And it does invoke, like I said, I think some of the country vibe too, because it does tell that story. And I also feel like a lot of the songs that we talked about today, right? Like they do have that story. I mean, all the way back to the top of the show. We were talking about Peg, being like almost like it's like a small, like the whole setup of that. We talked about, even this, like, Escape, right? The whole thing with the classified ad. So it's like, these songs and it's like, no, they're not really based on experience, but it's just like, you just wrote this whole creative story and these songs like just work like that,
I feel like this genre, this time frame, this is when songs were really written as songs, not written because there's a science behind a #1.
Yeah. It's a lot. I think there's a lot of focus on studio and studio musicians, obviously in Steely Dan's part for sure. But even like listening to the backstory of how Escape was written, and all the music, like it's a lot of focus on, I mean, you have songwriters, I mean, very talented, these by people who write music for a living and all that, but there's a focus on like that pristine and perfect sound with working with the right studio players and
like
crafting really great sounding songs, very produced, which is another thing of the yacht rock genre, very slick production.
Very slick indeed, where I would say like the modern day pop culture, they're looking for number one hits. That is where they're going with the sound they're choosing, the lyrics they're choosing, the artist that's going to sing it. There's so much more science to it. And I really like the more laid back versions that they just did their thing.
Yeah, I would say, I think the big difference is, and listen, time will tell, right, with some of this, because people always rediscover music, and from years from now, people may rediscover the music that came out like in this time, where we kind of are looking at it a little bit disposable in a sense.
True.
It may come back around. Like there was a time when like these songs were kind of like forgotten about, honestly. I mean, other than just sort of living on like some like light FM rock channel, like soft rock. And I do feel like that, even though it was in 2005, like that mockumentary did help kind of reignite a lot of these songs. And I really feel like there's been an interest in a lot of these artists again, especially when you do have some modern artists like either redoing some of these songs or incorporating elements from those songs or sampling them. That always helps. I mean, and obviously we talked about TikTok a bunch of times, is when something hits on TikTok, you could roll your eyes all you want, but like that, when something like that hits on TikTok, it brings so much resurgence to an artist. Or we've talked about things like in Netflix and, like Stranger Things and Wednesday and even Last of Us right now. Like these songs appear and all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is a cool song. Who is this? Oh, it's Depeche Mode. Oh, I don't know who Depeche Mode is. Now all of a sudden it's like, wow, Depeche Mode is really cool. Like, whatever. Kate Bush, like, like
I know who is
insane.
Kate Bush never in a million years thought that was going to happen. Never in a million years.
Who would ever think that would happen?
And here it did. And so I do love the power of the internet and what it can do, because there are some good songs that aren't supposed to go to sleep. They do need to live forever.
They do.
All right.
They do. All right.
What a soapbox. All right.
I hope you're all enjoying this rant.
All right. So Chris's final song to me is Baker Street by Gerry Rafferty.
By the way, did you know this was Gerry Rafferty?
No, I did not. Of course not.
This is what I'm talking about, right?
No, of course not.
You know the song when it comes on, but like, what is Gerry Rafferty?
I don't even know that I would have known that it was called Baker Street, if I'm being honest, either.
You're like, it's just a song with the sax.
It's just a song with the sax. Like, and the sax is amazing.
Which, and I know we've done a lot of history on this show, and there's more to come with this.
There's more to come. Buckle up, friends.
It's fascinating to me. I hope you're all fascinated. But here comes the greatest sax line. What a build-up, too.
Goodness.
Like, I'm on the yacht. King of the world.
So there's a TikToker that I follow, speaking of TikTok, and he adds saxophone into songs you didn't know needed it. And he's basically yacht rocking all of these modern day songs, and it's genius. And I'm there for it. So I think the power of a sax. Woo!
I mean, this is an iconic sax line.
Oh.
So good.
And I miss hearing this type of music. And that buttery voice that comes in effortless.
This is a top 10 yacht rock song.
No doubt.
Top 10 yacht rock song. I'm saying it. You have to give this a 5. I don't know.
Alert.
I don't know what else more I have to do. What else more do I have to do to get a 5?
I don't think you rated On and On.
Oh, you're right. I didn't rate On and On. I give On and On a 4.5.
Okay, fair. Totally fair.
I'm giving it a 4.5.
Totally.
It's a great song. I think On and On's a top 30 yacht rock song.
That's fair. This is 5 all day. This is a 5 all day.
Top 10. What a great song. That sax.
I know. And compared to the voice that comes in, it's just so like powerful, and then there's like this smooth mellow that captures you, and it's just excellent. Excellent, excellent. But yeah, I would never have known it was Gerry. Sorry, Gerry.
sorry, Gerry Rafferty. There's a great Foo Fighters version of this song too, where they
Is
actually they
there?
took the sax and they actually did it on guitar. It's really good.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down because I
Eh,
do need to listen
Yeah,
to it.
I've seen him play it live twice when I went to go see. I've seen him play it they
Probably
do a
excellent.
really good version of this. Like Dave Grohl sounds really good on this song. They do it it's a little more rocked up, but
Of course.
it's pretty
True to it.
yeah, faithful to the version. It's a little
Nice.
bit more edgy, but
Nice.
it's good. It's good.
So I think this is just as powerful as the Piña Colada song, but in a whole different way. It's iconic. Like, you know what you're getting as soon as you hear that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here it comes, and boom, there it is. And it just walks you through your day.
I love the build up to this song because it's literally almost, what is it? It's 27 seconds, I think, of and then that sax comes in, genius. You're like, here it comes, and then
here
it's
it comes. I know.
I'm on my yacht, and everything's great, and I'm the king of the world.
I'm sounding a little hypocritical here because sometimes I'm hard on too long of intros to songs.
I
don't
know,
always love them, but
I'm not a big fan either sometimes.
But when I'm yacht rocking it, I'm not in a mood to go. I'm in the mood to just chill and relax and enjoy the moment. And that is allowing me to just move into the next minute.
That's it.
It's just going. So I don't dislike this lengthy intro. It's excellent.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, it's I feel like you know what you're in for. That sax is sets the tone. So,
I need to have Owen listen to these 6 songs.
Okay, and see what we'll see how he.
Yes, as a 16-year-old male who has a taste,
right?
And it ain't this. I would really like to hear. You know what?
You should have him rank them.
I'm going to, and you know what? If I'm being honest, I think his Grand Theft Auto. Yes, I let him play it. No haters in here. Come on, get out of here, people.
Yeah.
They actually, when you're driving around, they have stations. I think it has a yacht rock station, and some of these songs are on it.
Oh, interesting. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto has station. Yeah, they do. I think they do have a yacht rock station on.
When he wakes up, because he didn't have to go to school because the school doesn't have power today, which is awesome. I'm going to ask him because I'm pretty sure it's on there. So he might actually know some of these songs already.
All right, there you go. I love it. I'd like to hear Owen's response about that.
I'll let you know.
We'll have to post that in the group.
So 5 records all day long.
5 records all day long. So quick about this song, because I also found this interesting. And here's another song too, by the way, which I actually really never really listened to the lyrics.
Right.
And then I'm like, whoa, now I'm so focused on the sax solo. And by the way, the guitar solo in the song rips too.
It does.
It rips. I mean, it's unsuspectingly like a ripping solo. So don't underestimate the solo to Baker Street. So this song is about a man who dreams of owning a house and living away from his neighbors, but he is drunk and cannot achieve that goal. He drinks to forget what he doesn't have and never realizes he's a rolling stone with no direction. Rafferty. So here and I know for a lot of the music historians that listen to the show already know who Gerry Rafferty is, but for those of you who don't know, Gerry Rafferty was a member of Steelers Wheel, who had a hit in 1973 with "Stuck in the Middle with You."
Yes, that's a hit. Yep.
His first band was a folk duo called the Humble Bums, and his singing partner was the famous Scott comedian Billy Connolly. So, little bit of trivia there for you. Baker Street, which is the name of the song, once again, is a real street in London, and Rafferty often stayed there with a friend who lived there. This was his first release after a resolution of legal problems surrounding the acrimonious breakup of Steelers Wheel in 1975. And basically, he was saying what he explained in the Daily Telegraph was, at the time, everybody was suing each other. So I spent a lot of time on the overnight train from Glasgow to London for meetings with lawyers. I knew a guy who lived in a little flat off Baker Street. We'd sit and chat and play guitar there throughout the night. In the last verse, Rafferty expresses the exhilaration as his legal and financial frustrations are finally resolved. When you wake up, it's a new morning. The sun is shining. It's a new morning. You're going home. You're going home. So interesting about the sax solo now. So Raphael Ravenscroft, by the way, what a name.
What a name.
Raphael Ravenscroft. Sounds like Harry Potter, right?
That's
right. I love it. It's a great name.
It is.
So he played the sax solo. So Rafferty wrote the song with an instrumental break, but didn't have a specific instrument in mind. Hugh Murphy, who produced the track, suggested a saxophone, so they brought in Ravenscroft to play it. Ravenscroft has played on records by Pink Floyd, Marvin Gaye, ABBA, Alvin Lee, and many others. The Baker Street saxophone gets a lot of attention, but there's rather an impressive guitar solo in there as well, which we're talking about, which was also played by Hugh Burns, a Scottish session musician who played on the City to City album. So, funny enough, which really isn't that funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's in hindsight, it's funny. So Ravenscroft was reportedly paid only £27 for his sax contribution. The check that he was given bounced. So the musician framed a useless payment and hung it on his wall, on his solicitor's wall. Speaking in a 2011 radio interview, Ravenscroft said that the song riles him. I'm irritated because it's out of tune. He said, yeah, it's flat by enough of that degree that irritates me at best. So on top of getting paid only £27, the check bouncing, he says that it's actually played it out of tune and it irritates him because the whole thing's out of tune. So it drives him crazy.
That is, so instead of like putting the dollar for like the first dollar earned in a frame.
Yeah, exactly.
There's about just check in a frame. That is a constant reminder of, oh, that's sad.
Yeah. It says more so than most.
And bless his heart. You're right, Ashley.
I know.
Bless his heart.
So more so than most in his song facts goes on, Baker Street resonates with listeners, drawing out strong emotions. Nicholas, I'm not even going to say this guy's last name because I can't, of the Yacht Rock Review.
Oh, that sounds
told us about performing the song. Baker Street is really all about that sax riff, which actually is not exceedingly difficult sax riff to play, but one that brings out emotions in people that they didn't realize they had. You play that in front of a crowd of dudes that haven't heard it perform live before, and they all go wild. They just get that crazy eye.
I believe it.
It's great. And basically, this song reached number 2 in the United States and number 3 in the UK.
Very good place for it to settle. And it makes the story of this song reminds me of, what was that song? I think it was a My Song that we did, where it was a song written about a guy who like slept on a park bench or something like that. And we said, oh, I wonder like if he got any of the money because it was inspired.
Oh yeah. That was one of the, that was,
I'll have to look back at
I'm blanking out.
I am too. I'll look through it.
It was a Willie Nelson song.
It was.
The Willie Nelson song where he wrote it about the guy that he saw.
Pretty Paper.
Pretty Paper. That's it.
It was Christmas song. Yeah.
That's right. And it blew me away because I didn't even know Willie Nelson ever even wrote. And then that whole story. Yeah. We were getting there.
We got there. It makes me think of that to some degree when you're just inspired by a character, or Ashley's, Saint Andrew's Jezebel.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you just go find her on Spotify and you'll be able to hear that fun song that we reviewed.
Oh gosh, yeah, it is
Saint Andrew's song. Jezebel. So great.
So one of the last bits too about the song, which is I didn't even put it together either, but there was another famous resident of Baker Street.
Oh,
which
okay.
I didn't realize, even though it's a fictional character though.
It's okay. So this is in London.
It's a fictional character. So
Sherlock
not
Holmes.
Real, but famous.
Holmes.
Yep, you got it.
I did not.
You got it. Sherlock Holmes. He lived at in the books. He lived at 221 B Baker Street.
I can't believe I caught that.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I will
actually got it too.
I peaked at 9:36 for the day. The day's just going down from here because I'll never.
That's it. You got the trivia question right. You win.
It makes me want to play the lottery.
You should. You won.
That's impressive. And so did Ashley.
Impressive. Wow. So as we bring our yacht in to dock and anchor it, bring it on in. I don't even know all the sailing terms. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know how to sail. I just go on rides. I go on rides.
I can't even go on them. I get too sick.
You gotta fix that.
I
You gotta
know,
fix
I know.
it.
But I can look at the waves and think that they're beautiful. I like to look
There you
at
go.
the water, just
Yeah.
don't want to be on the water.
Right. Okay.
And so we have a very long show today. So thank you everyone who like made it this far.
Anybody who
'cause
made it to the end of the show, you just heard Amanda get a trivia question right.
Ashley is the only one who witnessed this.
That's right.
So thank you, Ashley, for being here during this very monumental moment.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a much longer show today, but we had a lot to talk about. We had a lot of history to share.
There was a lot of good history worth sharing.
Yeah, so I hope, everybody learned a little bit more about yacht rock and some of the artists behind some of these classic songs if you didn't know who they were. So hopefully you learned. The more you know.
And these are the stories they are really fascinating stories behind these songs. And it makes me wonder if we chose 6 more songs from the yacht rock version or, genre, if the stories would be just as thorough as today's.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to do it again. So you let us know, everybody who's listening and watching, let us know. Did you like this episode? Do you want to hear more yacht rock lore and other songs that we pick? Are there songs you want to hear us talk about? Let us know. Let us know what yacht rock songs or any songs for that matter you'd like to hear us talk about and rate and review. But and specifically yacht rocks. Yeah, let us know. Our community of swappers, the swapping community. I love it. Head over to our Facebook group. Let us know. You can also email us as well. All these links are in our show notes below, so you can get access to us all the different ways, whether it's our social media channels, our Facebook group, which I said, our email address. We're pretty good with getting back to everybody in a timely manner. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout for that IG about the girl is mine and whether it actually is yacht rock or not.
Yacht rock or not.
We want your vote.
We need your vote. Yeah. So make sure you follow us on our social channels because that will be going up. Your vote matters.
Your vote matters is right. What a fun show. I know it was lengthy, but this was fun.
This was really fun. And we appreciate everybody who hung in there with us. Everybody on the live feed. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and contributing today. Really appreciate you all. We had Mark check in. We had Ashley. We had Dave Mattingly, our VIP. James Scott checked in. We had Diggs BTW 7 check in. So we had some great engagement today. We really appreciate you all for hanging out. And definitely all of you who are listening to the replay of this on our audio feed. Thank you all so much for taking the time and spending some time with us today. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button or that follow button rather, wherever you're listening to this, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. So that way you get notified every single time we drop new episodes of the show. We drop new episodes weekly on YouTube and our audio feeds. Plus, we also do highlight videos on YouTube as well. So make sure you follow us on all the places because we're always notifying everybody. And if you want to share this with a friend, that helps too because it does help the show grow. And that's what we're looking to do is entertain more people with our antics. Chris and that girl, we have a lot to talk about.
We do. And just thank you again for tolerating my poor internet and my poor audio today. But hey, the show went on. I'm glad it did. And we had a lot of fun and we hope you did too.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next time on another episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. Have an amazing week and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Get notified every single time we drop a new episode of Chris and Amanda's Song Swap Showdown. Just hit that follow button wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, please use the email address in our show notes and we'll get right back to you. And last but not least, please feel free to follow us over on our social accounts on Instagram and TikTok at Song Swap Showdown, or join our ever-growing community in our Facebook group by using the link in our show notes. Thanks for listening.